Okay, I asked you guys to open up Classroom because what I'm about to put on the board is already on Classroom, and I just wanted it opened right now. So if you look at make sure you're under classwork and not the stream. Okay, go under classwork. You can look at Unit 3 for me, and you should see the following Unit 3 review for unit test topics. Okay, so why don't you open that up for me? Okay, open that up. And you should see this right up there for you. Okay. So quickly, it's 17 questions, 36 points. 7 of them are multiple choice. I put a little note up here for you to remind you that one of those multiple choices is going to involve an auxiliary line. All right. So if you remember auxiliary line, we did it on day 1 is, all right, I gave you 2 parallel lines. Let's see if I can do this. And then maybe something that looks like this. But neither of those are transversals, right? So I need to draw in a third parallel line that makes both of those transversals. Okay, and I'll ask you, maybe I'll ask you for the full angle. Maybe I'll only ask you for this angle up here. Okay, so you're going to have to draw an auxiliary line. TF, that's true or false. 5 true false questions. 1 proof, and I'm telling you what it is right now. It's prove lines are parallel. Given this information, prove this set of lines are parallel. 1 construction. So it could be parallel or it could be perpendicular. Okay, am I going to tell you? Absolutely not. All right, it's going to be one or the other. And then I do want to give you a huge heads up here because we haven't been tested on this yet. 6 out of the 17 questions deal with slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. And if you need to look back in your notes, that's Friday's notes. That's day 5. Okay. And I say 6 out of 17, but really you already know 2 of the questions are a proof and a construction. So now we're really talking 6 out of 15 are heavy, right? So it's going to be heavy on the slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. Anything you want to go over there as far as the makeup of the test tomorrow? All right. Keep your Chromebooks open because you're going to have to go to your textbook in a minute. Before you do that, though, I'd like to do a couple review questions with you that are already in your packet. So if you guys can go to page 27 for me. I think it's page 27. Is that the start of the review? Yeah. Page 27. I want to do proof number 1 with you. Or page 28, I guess. Page 28. Page 27 is all the theorems that we've gone over this unit. So I do want to do a proof, and notice what the proof is asking. Prove the lines are parallel, which is going to be what I ask on the test tomorrow for your proof. So I'll give you a minute to set everything up. It's been a while since we did a proof as a group. What are you guys putting on your diagram for the perpendicular lines? You want a packet to work out of just for today? Okay. What are you guys putting for those perpendicular lines? Should be marking your diagram with what? Hasn't been that long. Perpendicular lines form. So I should have right angle symbols, right? Where CD, BF, and AD meet. And you can have them on both or one side. It doesn't matter. And where CE and AD meet. So we're good there. All right. How am I going to get BF parallel to CE? BF parallel to CE. So these lines right here, I need parallel. And look what you've marked already. Does anybody see any angles that we've marked considered special angles on BF and CE up here? Will, what do you see? Yep, I see pairs of corresponding right angles up here, don't I? I could go, ready? BFA and CEF are corresponding. Everyone agree there? BFA and CEF, these 2 right here are corresponding. Or I could say BFE and CED are corresponding. I could pick either pair. And what do I know about two angles that are right angles? They are congruent, which makes them parallel. So everyone see the plan to make those lines parallel is to get the right angles congruent and say because they're corresponding, that makes the lines parallel. All right, step 2 though, we are not going to say the right angles are congruent. I still need to tell you what. It's beautifully marked in my diagram, but it still hasn't gone to the statements. What do I still need to tell you before I tell you right angles are congruent? That they are right angles. Guys, it is a 2-step process all year long. You have to tell me they're right angles, then you can tell me they're congruent. So let's, you guys can pick your pair. I'll do BFA, angle BFA and angle CEF are right angles. Why? Anybody remember what we put there? There's really 2 reasons. John? Definition of perpendicular or perpendicular lines form right angles. Both are acceptable to me. Okay, please get in this habit. You got to tell me they're right angles. Then the very next step is, hey, now you can tell me they're congruent. And that's by our theorem. Last unit, all right angles congruent. And a reminder, you can't use the theorem sheet tomorrow. You can't use anything. I'm not giving you anything tomorrow, formulas or the theorem sheet. All right, now that I have them congruent, now you can tell me the lines are parallel. Reason? What type of angles were they? I know they're right angles, but they're also corresponding angles. Make sure you tell me they're congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent imply parallel lines. Okay, everyone all right getting the lines parallel? Okay, there's a second thing I'm asking you to prove. This is not, don't do a new statement's reasons. It's just a continuation of this proof we just finished. Now that you know those are parallel, why is PFB and QCE congruent? PFB and QCE, why are those congruent? Look at those angles. Look at your pair. Because look, if I look at those angles right now, I notice, they're on my parallel lines and they have a transversal in common. Right? They have PFCQ in common. So I think they might be special angles. What are they called there, Ian? They're alternate exterior, the ones. And if the lines are parallel, what do I know about alternate exterior? Congruent or supplementary? Congruent. Yep. So this is only one extra step now. Because I just proved BF and CE are parallel, those angles, PFB and QCE are congruent. What's that going to look like now? Should I write that statement? How do I start this one out? I got to start it out with parallel lines. Imply alternate exterior angles congruent. So I just wanted to go over a proof of parallel line proof with you. And I want to go over a slope question with you. All right, so go to number 6, please. Review question 6. Because as you guys just heard, 6 out of the 15 you know of are going to be this type, or write the equation of a line. Okay, ready? You guys can read through this. I give you the slope of one segment and the slope of the other. And what do we know about those 2 segments? What's that symbol again? They're perpendicular. All right. So I know the slopes and I know they're perpendicular. Can you guys help me here? If I combine those, the slopes and they're perpendicular, what's the relationship? One is the negative reciprocal of the other. Yes. So I'm going to write something that's incorrect up on the board right now. Let me write something that's incorrect. Please don't copy it down. I'm just going to set the 2 equal to each other. No, you told me they should have been negative reciprocals. How could I change the problem, though, to make them equal? Change that perpendicular symbol to a what? When would I make two slopes equal? If I knew the lines were not perpendicular but parallel, yes. This would be correct if they were parallel. But one needs to be a negative reciprocal. You guys could choose, right? Do I do the negative reciprocal of x minus 1 over 4 or 8/3? Which one's going to be the easier one for us, probably? 8/3. Yep. So I don't want 8/3 there. What do I want instead? Negative 3/8. All right. Is everyone good why I'm putting negative 3/8 here instead of 8/3? I need the negative reciprocal. And we did discuss this when we went over homework on Monday. This is called a proportion from Algebra 1. How did you solve them? Cross multiply, correct. So I'm going to do 4 times negative 3 and 8 times x minus 1. I get negative 12 equal to the other cross multiplication, 8x minus 8. Make sure you distribute the 8 all the way through. And now we solve. Add 8, add 8. (8x) equals negative 4. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. So x will be not negative 2. That doesn't come out to be negative 2. Negative 1/2. All right. Parallel, the slopes are equal. Perpendicular, they're negative reciprocals. You have all the answers. All the answers are in the back of your packet like they usually are. I don't care who you work with. Once you finish the packet, you have to try out some of the textbook questions here. All right, because some of the stuff that's on the test does not appear in the packet work. All right, it appears in the textbook work. All right, especially, where is it? Where did I go? This stuff right here. All right, you want to get practice. Make sure you look at day 5 again. Look over those notes again. And the textbook will have questions like what I'm talking about. All right, so but got to look over day 5 again so you know what we're talking about. All right, you guys are on your own. Remember, textbook pages can be accessed on Google Classroom. Call me over if there's any issues.